Okay, we're going to switch up. I'm old and I can do what I want. We're going to have the meditation first. The reason for that is because I want to mess with your mind. That the reason I mess with it in so many levels. Whatever I'm going to talk about, whatever chakra color that is, I'm going to wear. So today I'm wearing orange for creativity. See, I told you I was going to mess with your mind. You didn't even know. So I invite you to sit erect in your chairs, get cozy in and just get really comfortable because you know that chair is going to support you. So breathe in. Breathe in deeply to the count of 4. Feel that energy coming up from the earth, lifting up until you feel it in the center of your being. That beautiful light, that brightest possible light, brighter than a football stadium, is filling the center of your being right now. Feel it. Breathe in. Breathe in the divine. And on every exhale, breathe out anything that doesn't feel like God. Because God is the truth of you. Breathe in and feel that light filling every center of your body, every cell, every organ, every function, every action and reaction. Feel that light circulating your energy, helping you to feel more alive than you've felt in a long time. That bright white light is like electricity going through you. Breathe it in. Feel it circulating upward and upward and upward through all of your organs, your head, out into the universe. And then bring it back in and filter it again through every cell. That is a healing presence, the loving presence that you can carry with you wherever you go. It radiates out. It is the one energy that fills this space that is in each of you that joins you in a holy purpose. Just relax and know that it is with you always. And so it is. Feel it. Okay, today we're going to talk about creativity as a conduit. What that means is that your vessel, this body, is stimulating and flowing through you that energy that you've just called in. It is creativity. You're never closer to God than when you are creating. And you're creating every single second of your day. Glenn and I talk about understanding the mechanics of the universe. And that's what I hope to impart to you, is to know that this is a law calling forth the energy of the divine is a law just like gravity is. You accept gravity, it's just natural. If you're up a cliff and you're looking over the edge, you don't think that you're going to jump off. What you do is say, oh, hell no, and leave, right? So this creativity is active in you every day. It is a law of the universe. The first time I ever heard the concept of being a co-creator with God is way back in the 1960s. And in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, there was absolutely zilch in seeking out spirituality. There was no YouTube. There were not any, I think there was 1 or 2 churches in Dallas. And we had study groups. I belonged to an Edgar Casey study group. And he talked about co-creator with God. I had an inner knowing, but in retrospect, I no more knew what that meant than the man in the moon. What I hadn't taken in and internalized the things I was learning. So I have to think about the gardener, since I am one. But anyway, there was this man that had this beautiful 1-acre garden. He had a shade garden. He had a vegetable garden, all the flowers, peonies, gardenias, everything that you could hope for. So his minister had heard about this. And he came over to look at the garden, and he said, "Oh, this is beautiful. Look at what God hath wrought." And the gardener looked at him and he said, "Yeah, you should have seen it when he had it by himself." But you see, that's what happens. God needs us as his emissary to put feet in action to the creation that's coming into your mind. Now, I'm going to read you something. I know what it says because I wrote it, but it sounds so pretty on paper, I'm going to read it. You will never be more of the God aspect of yourself than when you're creating. When you are creating, you stand aside and let the energy flow through you into your own creation. You, by nature, as the creator, stand aside and you surrender to the muse of your inspiration. Now, here's the kicker. Nobody cares about what you created. Nobody cares if it's a masterpiece or crap. The important thing is that you are making the journey and learning to be in tune with the information that comes into your head. It is the act of oneness with all that is divine that's the most important part that you create. It's then when you finally become skilled enough to be of use to the divine. Not because of the creation, but because of going through the process of the creation. Now, Reverend PJ, who is my minister over at Harmony Spiritual Center, we've been friends for about 30 years. Norma and I have been friends longer than that. But anyway, we were both at the Unity of Waco. And there was a lady who we still know and we still visit back and forth with. For 30 years, she has been saying to PJ and I, "Oh, I wish God would talk to me like he talks to you. I just wish I could sense the feeling of God being with me." It's impossible. God is in you. But she believes that she is not worthy or does not hear or whatever her thing is. But if you could meet this lady, her cooking is legendary. She doesn't know that when she is creating her fabulous dinners or whatever, that she's being inspired. I've cooked in the kitchen with her, and she'll stand there at the stove and she'll think, "This needs something. Is it tarragon? No. Is it bay leaf? No. Oh, fennel, that's it." She doesn't get that that's a connection to the divine that's speaking to her, and she's expressing it out and serving up this love to her friends. She doesn't recognize that God's presence is always speaking to you. It's the divine source. This is what Glenn does. Besides being a minister, he's retired from that now, and his actual real job, which was building seawalls. And this is what he would do when he would go to build a seawall, because every bit of land is different. How the water hits it is different. And so he will go out prior to being on the construction site with the crew. And he'll just sit there on a pile of dirt and meditate, and the dirt will speak to him and tell him what nuances have to take place in this particular seawall. And he's always been like that. When I met him, he was just a traditional church member, but he was already doing things that exhibited that he was in touch. He would keep in his shirt pocket some index cards, and if he needed something, like how much money he needed, he would write it out on his index card, and he'd put it in there, and he'd take it out and look at it. He didn't belong to Unity. He didn't belong to Science of Mind. He didn't know about prosperity, but he was doing it. The divine was speaking to him. You know, we're not that holy of a group. The divine speaks to everyone. So here we are, co-creators with God, right? The energy of all is in each of us. It responds to vigor. With vigor, the more we validate it. You know, it's like when you begin a relationship, there's you over here and the other person over here. You're there, you're there. And then one day you wake up and you're one person. Well, that's how it is when we court the love or the divine like we do a lover. We just become used to each other, and then one day, you don't even know how you got there. It's like a quantum leap, you know? One day you're here, one day you're there, and you're one person. Well, the more we validate the awareness of this God's presence, the more it is within us with vigor. If our friend recognized that she was receiving that information and she, oh, thank you, God, whatever, then you develop that relationship with God, and the creativity comes to you more easily. I remember back in the day, one of the first things we learned in metaphysics, and I'm sure it's the same with just about everybody in here, we learned to manifest a parking space until we knew we could do it. Well, you know, you didn't question that. There's your parking space. I can get that anytime. It's like everything in life is like that parking space. Well, one of the interesting things that I've learned about creative people is they're usually creative in multiple expressions. I think of Tony Bennett, the singer, and he's a painter. And we all have friends that do that they're multi-dimensional in the way they express creativity. But that's not the gift. The gift is learning to channel that, to manipulate that energy that comes through you, and you're the hands and feet. Now, when I say manipulate the energy, I don't mean like some people manipulate a person. It's not like that. It's like the sculptor manipulating clay. You learn how the energy feels and how to send it forth, how to let it flow through you, and you become one with that essence of that energy. This is what Emerson says: it matters not what your gift is. God enters through you, through a private door, into each individual. God is expressing through you, as you, and we don't know what your creative gift is. I have a friend, Glenda Walker, and some of you may know her. She's this really creative, New Thought person that I just adore. She is just the epitome of creativity. She wrote something in her Facebook that was so profound, I kept it. And this is what she said: I think everything you do in life is art. It's what you do. It's how you dress, how you love someone, how you talk, how you smile, your personality, what you believe in, and all your dreams, how you decorate your home. Life is art. So you don't have to plan to be, as our friend Rebecca Lowe, this profound artist. Whatever you do in your life is taking that creative source and expressing out, and you build on it, and you build on it, and you build on it, and it flows more naturally. This is what my understanding of what's happening in the energetic world. You know, we're aware that there's a lot of change taking place in the universe. It's there, I mean, it's in your face. You can feel it in your body. But this is what I'm understanding is happening to us, that we're evolving to a greater expression of ourselves, and that all the possible selves we have left along the way are merging. And you'll find that old friends are dropping off, old opportunities, and new people are coming into your life, new ways to express yourself, and you may take up something you never even thought about. We have a friend, he just started writing poetry, and he's wonderful at it. He started painting. This guy's a CPA. Where did that come from? You know, but there he is expressing himself, and you're going to find as this energy is changing in the universe, you're going to be doing things you never thought of. It's your creative expression, and when the little voice within your head tells you or gives you an idea, go with it. Go with it. As a matter of fact, I know physically where that door is, where all of this enters. It's called the pineal gland. It's associated with the crown chakra. It's where you frequently get the impression, either a voice or a knowing, and it comes into your mind. And when you meditate, if you learn to channel this energy up through this area, it stimulates that. And as you move along in life, then it comes more expressed. But this is where it is. It's sort of at a cross point. It's between here and here. But where that meets is that pineal gland, and that's where the open door is, the quiet room where you are taught biblically that this location is. So what keeps you from fully expressing? I think it's the same with most of us. Fear. Fear we can't achieve. Fear we can't paint the Mona Lisa. You know, it's like a first grader who's made a clay horse. I promise you, somewhere there is a mama and daddy that thinks that's the most beautiful clay horse that's ever been in existence. Everybody else thinks it's a duck, but they think it's beautiful. And so that's the entree for that child to become a creative expression. And we all have that possibility, and we can't let our fears keep us from moving forward. It may be the right path. It may be the wrong path. And maybe that's not your way of expressing. But isn't the journey fun? Wow. So the key to becoming the master of your own life and getting that creativity and using it is to start becoming aware of how you're expressing now. Are you paying attention to the small voice? Are you validating that small voice like you would your lover? And validating it? I mean, you can't be in a relationship, a successful one, unless you're validating the other person. Well, Spirit wants validation. Just when the still small voice comes, you say, acknowledge it. Okay, I got you. So I'm going to end this with some action steps. They're very important. We've always got to have an action step to what we do, or else what I've said goes like that. Number one, acknowledge always acknowledge the voice, recognize the evidence. Now, I know some of you know I do this, but rather than a gratitude journal, I keep an evidence journal because it's real. It's stuff that's really happened, and I know the only way it would have happened is with the presence of God. Gratitude journal, this is just my idiosyncrasy. There's nothing wrong with gratitude journals, but for me, it's always like I've had a bit of luck out there and something nice happens, and thank you, God, that something out there gave me a break. But evidence is real hard truth. It couldn't be anything else but God. So you begin to build on this evidence that God is always with you. There's a source of your creativity. It's a source of your expression. Second, I said validate and gratitude. Third is surrender. Now, for me, I'm sorry, I'm Irish. I've never surrendered to anybody. But then there came a time in our lives, and we retired from being ministers at Unity of Waco. We didn't know what we were going to do. We could do anything. And I know that this was the turning point in our good fortune and living in the flow. So Glenn and I had this discussion, like, well, we could do this, or we could do that. And I said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Whatever we do, God is there. We can do, if it doesn't work, what change? Go a different way. But we surrendered to knowing that it was going to be okay, whatever it was. So that's the surrender, that trust, that recognition that you're a team, that you are the unique expression in the mind of God for whoever you are and however you express. That trust, and you know that presence is always with you. That is the turning point to living abundantly. After that, it was unbelievable how our lives changed and things started flowing in a smooth way, like catching all the green lights or whatever. That becomes commonplace. So surrender is a turning point, and you can't plan it. You don't choose surrender. Surrender chooses you. But recognize the moment it comes, because it's a magic moment. So what is interesting is the creative force, or really anything you can give power to, it's enhanced by the component of love. See, if you're not loving, all the energy that could come to you or that you could send out, there's a roadblock. If you are in a bad temper, the energy is just going to be static. For instance, I promise you, you do not want to cook dinner for your family if you're pissed off. No, 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 no. It will be bad. It will taste bad. It won't nourish the people that you want to nourish. So it's like that in everything we do. To just relax and let love flow through you rather than irritation or whatever the energy barrier is. It just makes things flow more smoothly. So it is a vibration of love that gives power. So you're working with acknowledgement, validation, surrender. Just consciously kick it up with the love vibration. I remember when I was going to a healing class, well, we had to learn how to deal with someone that would come to you and they might be belligerent, or they might not have had a shower, or various things that would make you not effective because they're over there fat, dumb, and happy. They don't care. You're the one that's supposed to be the vessel of healing. So we had this trick that we did for ourselves. We imagined the love that we felt for that thing or that person that we loved most in the world. So we would conjure up love within ourselves by thinking of our baby, our grandbaby, a favorite pet, until we could feel that love vibration. Because if we weren't in a place of love, that would have been ineffective. So imagine that if you're in creating out of the joy and the love of the process, how much more power you have. So take charge, acknowledge, follow the evidence, validate, surrender, and open yourself to the new vision. Whatever that little voice is telling you might be new. Get out of the box. Let your possibilities be probabilities. And remember, you will never be more of the God aspect of yourself than when you're creating. It's a holy moment. Thank you.
Our prayer for protection, call and response. I guess we'll keep it that way. The light of God surrounds us.
I am the light of God.
The love of God enfolds us.
I am the love of God.
The power of God protects us.
I am the power of God.
The presence of God watches over us.
I am the presence of God.
And together, wherever we are, God is, and all is well.